They were the steel beasts of the battlefield, monstrous machines that shaped the course of World War II. Built for brute force, heavy armor, and unstoppable firepower, these were the heavy tanks that rolled into history. The Churchill MK7 was Britain's most heavily armored infantry tank of World War II, featuring up to 152 millimeters of frontal armor and a 75 millimeters main gun. While it lacked speed and suffered from a somewhat outdated design, its rugged reliability and ability to traverse difficult terrain made it invaluable during the Normandy campaign and beyond. Built to support infantry in close combat, it excelled in tight, fortified environments like the hedgerows of France, where its thick armor allowed it to absorb hits that would destroy lighter tanks. Though not the most glamorous, the Churchill MK7 was a workhorse, tough, dependable, and built to last. The Soviet KV-1 was a game-changer when it first appeared in 1940, boasting armor so thick, up to 90 millimeters, that early German weapons couldn't penetrate it. Named after the Fence Commissar Klymen Voroshilov, it shocked invading German forces during Operation Barbarossa, often holding off entire units alone. Armed with a 76.2 millimeters gun and built like a mobile bunker, the KV-1 was nearly invulnerable in the early war years. However, its heavy weight made it slow and mechanically unreliable, and as German tank designs advanced, its advantages faded. Still, during those crucial early battles, the KV-1 stood as a symbol of Soviet resilience and raw battlefield dominance. The M26 Persing was the U.S. Army's late-war answer to German heavy armor, combining thick frontal armor with a powerful 90 millimeters gun capable of taking on Tiger and Panther tanks. Introduced in 1945, it saw limited combat in the final months of World War II, most notably during the Battle of Cologne, where it proved it could match Germany's best. Unlike earlier American tanks like the Sherman, the Pershing prioritized protection and firepower over speed, marking a shift in U.S. tank doctrine. Though it arrived too late to influence the outcome of the war, the M26 laid the foundation for America's post-war tank designs and heavy armor philosophy. The Tiger II, also known as the King Tiger, was Nazi Germany's most powerful production tank of World War II, combining nearly impenetrable frontal armor up to 185 millimeters thick with a devastating 88 millimeters KWK-43 gun. It could destroy Allied tanks at extreme ranges and was virtually immune to most return fire from the front. However, its massive weight made it slow, mechanically unreliable, and a nightmare to maintain in the field. Often abandoned due to breakdowns or lack of fuel, it was more feared than it was effective in large numbers. Still, when it worked, the King Tiger dominated the battlefield and symbolized the extremes of German engineering. The Soviet IS-2 Iosif Stalin tank was a heavy breakthrough tank designed to counter German Tigers and Panthers, featuring thick sloped armor and a powerful 122 millimeters gun capable of destroying enemy tanks and fortifications alike. Introduced in 1944, it combined battlefield survivability with strong offensive capabilities, allowing it to lead assaults across Eastern Europe and into Berlin. While its gun had a slow rate of fire, a single hit could cripple most German armor. The IS-2 marked a major evolution in Soviet tank design, balancing firepower, protection, and mobility, and played a key role in crushing Nazi resistance during the final years of the war. The Panzerjäger Tiger P, better known as a Ferdinand or Elephant, was a German heavy tank destroyer built on the failed Porsche Tiger chassis and armed with a powerful 88 mm PaK-43 house gun. Designed for long-range kills, it featured exceptionally thick frontal armor, up to 200 millimeters, that made it nearly invulnerable from the front. First used at the Battle of Kursk in 1943, it achieved impressive kill ratios, but suffered from serious flaws, including the lack of machine gun for close defense and frequent mechanical breakdowns. Later models added a hull-mounted machine gun and improved reliability, but its limited mobility and logistical demands kept it from widespread success. Still, when used offensively at range, the Ferdinand was one of the most lethal tank killers of the war. The Tiger I was Germany's first true heavy tank of World War II, renowned for its thick armor, up to 120 millimeters, and its powerful 88 millimeters KWK-36 gun, which could destroy Allied tanks at long ranges with pinpoint accuracy. Introduced in 1942, it quickly earned a fearsome reputation on both the Eastern and Western fronts, often dominating engagements through superior firepower and protection. However, it was expensive, complex to build, and mechanically unreliable, frequently breaking down or requiring extensive maintenance. Despite these flaws, the Tiger I became an icon of German armored warfare, feared by enemies and revered by its crews as one of the most formidable tanks of the war. The T29 heavy tank was an American prototype developed near the end of World War II in response to heavily armored German tanks like the Tiger II. Weighing over 70 tons, it was equipped with a massive 105 millimeters gun and thick armor designed to match or surpass its European counterparts. Although it never saw combat, the T29 featured advanced optics and targeting systems that were ahead of their time. Its development continued into the post-war period, influencing later American heavy tank designs. While it arrived too late for World War II, the T29 represented the U.S. commitment to countering future heavy armor threats with overwhelming firepower and protection. The Char B1 bis was France's most formidable tank at the outbreak of World War II, boasting up to 60 millimeters of armor, thicker than most German tanks of the time, and armed with both a hull-mounted 75 millimeters howitzer and a turret-mounted 47 millimeters gun. Designed as a breakthrough tank to smash through enemy lines, it proved nearly impervious to early German anti-tank weapons and could take on multiple Panzer IIs and IIIs in combat. However, its complex design, poor fuel economy, and one-man turret limited its effectiveness in prolonged engagements. Despite its shortcomings, the Char B1 bis performed impressively in many encounters and remains a symbol of what early war French armor could achieve under better tactical leadership. The German Maus was the heaviest tank ever built, a prototype super-heavy vehicle weighing nearly 190 tons and designed to be virtually invincible on the battlefield. Armed with a massive 128 millimeters main gun and a coaxial 75 millimeter secondary cannon, it had armor up to 240 millimeters thick, making it impervious to almost all Allied weapons of the time. However, its sheer size made it painfully slow, mechanically unreliable, and nearly impossible to transport or deploy effectively. Only 2 prototypes were completed, and neither saw combat. The Maus was a clear example of Nazi Germany's over-engineered ambition. Impressive in theory, but ultimately impractical and strategically pointless. If you enjoyed this look at the heavy giants of World War II, don't forget to subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more deep dives into military history. Got a favorite tank we didn't include, or a battle you want us to cover next? Drop it in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.